May the peace of the Lord be with you all. Today's Gospel Reflection, July 31st, 2025, Thursday.
Moses did exactly as the Lord had commanded him. On the first day of the first month of the second year, the dwelling was erected. It was Moses who erected the dwelling. He placed its pedestals, set up its boards, put in its bars, and set up its columns. He spread the tent over the dwelling, and put the covering on top of the tent, as the Lord had commanded him. He took the commandments and put them in the ark. He placed poles alongside the ark, and set the propitiatory upon it. He brought the ark into the dwelling and hung the curtain veil, thus screening off the ark of the commandments, as the Lord had commanded him. Then the cloud covered the meeting tent, and the glory of the Lord filled the dwelling. Moses could not enter the meeting tent, because the cloud settled down upon it, and the glory of the Lord filled the dwelling. Whenever the cloud rose from the dwelling, the children of Israel would set out on their journey. But if the cloud did not lift, they would not go forward. Only when it lifted did they go forward. In the daytime, the cloud of the Lord was seen over the dwelling, whereas at night, fire was seen in the cloud, by the whole house of Israel, in all the stages of their journey. Responsorial Psalm. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord, mighty God! My soul yearns and pines for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord, mighty God! Even the sparrow finds a home, and the swallow a nest, in which she puts her young. Your altars, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord, mighty God! Blessed they who dwell in your house. Continually they praise you. Bless the men whose strength you are. They go from strength to strength. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord, mighty God! I had rather one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I had rather lie at the threshold of the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wicked. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord, mighty God!
The Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to the disciples, "The kingdom of heaven is like a net thrown into the sea, which collects fish of every kind. When it is full they haul it ashore, and sit down to put what is good into buckets. What is bad they throw away. Thus it will be at the end of the age. The angels will go out and separate the wicked from the righteous, and throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth." "Do you understand all these things?" They answered, "Yes." And he replied, "Then every scribe who has been instructed in the kingdom of heaven is like the head of a household who brings from his storeroom both the new and the old." When Jesus finished these parables, he went away from there. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflection. Life is full of choices. We are constantly presented with a mix of opportunities, challenges, truths, and distractions, just like a fisherman who casts a wide net and pulls in both good and bad fish. This is the image that Jesus used to describe the kingdom of heaven. There is a sorting that happens in the end. But while we're still here, we're all gathered together, people of different backgrounds, beliefs, and levels of faith, all living side by side. But what do we do in the meantime? Especially those of us who already believe. This is where the true message of Jesus becomes deeply personal. Among the many parables Jesus told, there's one part often overlooked. It's where he says that someone who truly understands the kingdom of heaven is like a homeowner who brings out treasures from both the old and the new. This might sound like a metaphor tucked at the end, but it is actually one of the most powerful lessons for anyone who has walked the path of faith. Imagine an old man in a quiet town who runs a small antique shop. People often wonder why he keeps dusty items on the shelves alongside newer ones. One day, a curious teenager enters the shop and asks, "Why don't you throw away the old stuff?" The old man smiles and says, "Because every item here has a story. Some are ancient and wise, Others are fresh and full of hope. Together, they tell a fuller story of who we are. This is the essence of Jesus' final words in the parable. A faithful follower, someone who truly understands God's kingdom, learns to value both the ancient truths of the past and the fresh revelations of the present. We don't discard tradition just because something new feels exciting, nor do we cling to the old simply because it's familiar. Instead, we hold both like treasures in our hands and learn from them. In practical terms, this means we draw strength from timeless lessons, the stories of Moses, David, Ruth, and Esther. We learn courage, faith, and obedience from them. But we also recognize that God continues to speak today through new experiences, modern challenges, personal trials, and even unexpected encounters. We receive fresh insights that help us walk the journey of faith in today's world. Consider young Christian teacher in a busy city school. She was taught Bible stories as a child, and those stories gave her a foundation of hope and moral clarity. But it wasn't until she stood in front of a class full of struggling students that she understood the depth of compassion Jesus had for the poor and brokenhearted. In the face of real-life challenges, her faith deepened. The old truth she learned as a child became alive through her new experiences. Being like the homeowner with treasures old and new means becoming wise, not just knowledgeable. It means holding on to Scripture and ancient faith practices while also embracing the living presence of God in everyday life. It means not being afraid to grow, to adapt, to learn again and again what love and justice look like in the present. We are not just receivers of tradition. We are stewards of living truth. We are not merely readers of ancient stories. We are participants in an unfolding divine plan. As Jesus finished these parables, He wasn't just giving us stories to admire. He was inviting us into a lifestyle of discernment, humility, and faithful action. So, ask yourself, what treasure do you carry from the past? And what new treasure is God placing in your hand today? To follow Jesus is to open your heart and mind to both, and in doing so, you become a true scribe of the kingdom, a treasure keeper who helps others see the beauty of God's work across all time.